Hello everyone, I'm Gulara, and today my beautiful guest is Shams. Shams has brilliant education, she has amazing career at Intel Corporation, and moreover, 6 months ago she gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. And today we will talk about this new beginning for her. Hello Shams, thank you so much for coming today.
Hi Gulara, thank you so much for having me here as one of your first guests, and I'm sure you'll do some amazing things.
So Shams, let's start. Can you please just talk a little bit about your life before the birth? What did you do? How did you live?
Yeah, of course. So hi everyone, I'm Shams. I am 32 years old. I studied at the University of Texas at Austin. I did my MBA there, and it was a dream came true. I was dreaming of studying there even back when I lived in Azerbaijan. And, here I am in Texas, and I was able to, make my dream happen. And it wasn't just a dream. There were certain things that I was looking for while doing that program, during that program. So I wanted to switch into tech industry, and I wanted to hit a certain salary range. And even before I finished the program, I was able to achieve all those. So by the time I finished the program, I started working for Intel. I work as a senior financial analyst, and basically what I do is I run a bunch of different cost models. I do reporting, I do forecasting. I basically tell the story behind the numbers before having a baby, like you mentioned, before becoming a mom to this tiny, beautiful baby girl Fidan. I used to work a lot of hours,
Yeah, I know that for sure. Now we see what like that you were so much devoted to your career, to your studies, to finance, to work, to your corporate life. But let's switch now to your motherhood, which is the main topic. And my question would be what was the most unexpected thing for you in the motherhood? What didn't you get prepared to? What didn't you expect from yourself? And what didn't you expect from the motherhood?
It's a great question, Gulara.
Thank you.
I feel like most of it was unexpected, and I wasn't prepared for most of it. I mean, how do you prepare, right? You take classes, you read books, and I have a nephew, I have a niece, so I thought I was prepared. But it was very naive of me. I wasn't prepared at all. Most of it was very, very unexpected. What in particular was unexpected for me, the fact that, I got so anxious over every little noise she made. And I used to be, my pregnancy was very easy, and I was very chill during pregnancy. So I thought that's how the motherhood is going to be as well. But no, it was very different. Like, I would get nervous over every little noise she made, and I was like, oh my God, am I not a good mom? Am I not understanding her? Am I not doing the things I should be doing? So I was freaking out, and I was like, please, someone, can you just help me figure this out? So yeah, I wasn't expecting from myself to get that anxious over every little noise she made and get so worried, because I used to be the one who would look at those moms and be like, oh, they're crazy. But I became one of those. And what else? I think I wasn't expecting babies to be so intelligent.
Oh, yeah, that's another topic, right, to consider.
Right.
They can be so intelligent and develop their skills so fast that you cannot just even imagine or cannot expect something from them.
Exactly, because you read in the books that they know your smell, they can understand you and all that, but then you're like, yeah, I mean, okay, maybe. And here, as soon as she was born, she started screaming. And then She's screaming and the doctors are checking her, the nurses are checking her. Pervez, my husband, is holding her and she's still screaming. And I'm lying there and they put her on my chest. And as soon as they put her on my chest, this tiny little human who can't talk, who can't, she doesn't know who she is, where she is, she stops crying. And to me, that was a moment when, she told me, I know you're my mom. And that just blew my mind. It was a very interesting moment.
It's definitely a very emotional moment, kind of the start of the bonding,
Yes.
right? Between mom and the baby.
Yeah. Other things, I feel like there's so much I want to share. In general, I wasn't expecting so much pressure from motherhood, and it's both internal and external. I put so much pressure on myself, and I feel like society puts so much pressure on yourself. And I mean, we talked about it, right, you, me, Naza, and we're like, no matter what you do, you're always going to be judged.
Yeah. Shams, let's talk about your self-realization as a mother. How did you accept that new role in your life?
I feel like I'm still accepting it. I feel like it's a journey. It's an adjustment for sure. And the other day I was, I'm listening to different podcasts about motherhood and, parenting. And there was this interesting topic where they talked about a grief period once you become a mom. It's, and I was like, oh, interesting. Because they say that old self dies when you become a mom.
Wow.
And a new person is born. So I feel like that really resonated with me. I feel like I'm in that stage where I'm still accepting it. And in general, they say it takes about a year to really adjust to that new life and everything new beginnings. So yeah, I feel like I'm still in the process.
So that concept of that grief period, you literally felt it, right? And you're continuing feeling that.
Yes, for sure. And that's, when you have so many different emotions and you're fighting it, you're like, okay, I'm this new person and I should be this and that. And you realize your life is never going to be the same. It doesn't mean it's worse, but it's like a changing career or changing a country, right? Your whole life changed, and now it takes some time to adjust to that.
Shams, and what kind of mom you are?
It's a tough one.
It is, yes, I agree.
I guess if you ask friends and family, they'll say caring and loving and things like that. I feel like at this point, I truly don't know what kind of mom I am. I feel like I'm still in the process of discovering it. I'm very new to this, but I feel like I'm a vulnerable mom. I am someone who is very sensitive to everything that is being told to me, to my baby. So that's for sure. I'd probably call it, I'm a real mom. Motherhood, I feel like involves lots of tears and sweating and leaking, and it has so many other emotions. So I feel like I am the mother who is, I can't say I'm a mama who's struggling, but a mom who's trying to learn it.
Yeah, I think that we all are struggling as mothers, because motherhood itself, it's like a journey of a lot of different struggles. So
right.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you.
Yeah, it's like learning new skill or new language, especially if it's your first child.
Yeah, and now I have $1 million question for you. I think that everyone would be interested in that. So how you and your husband divide responsibilities of taking care of the baby?
Sure. So in the beginning, it was very tough because, babies sleep 1 to 3 hour stretches. So in the beginning, we had to have a game plan. In the beginning, my mom was here, so she would help me during the day, and Parviz would take a nap during the day, and he would wake up at night and help me at night. So that's how we did it in the beginning. But as you kind of learn your baby, as you understand what she wants, now we just play by the ear. I mean, if he sees I'm tired, he would take care of her. If I see that he's tired, I would step in. Or like at night, if I see that he woke up once, the next time she cries, I would wake up. So now we're just kind of, seeing how it goes.
Yeah, that's great. And I hope that would be helpful to everyone who is planning the parenthood, just to have a game plan in advance. How did your perspectives on life and your values changed after the birth of the baby?
These are amazing questions. I feel like I used to be this ambitious person. I loved controlling things. I mean, my New Year resolution would be, measurable things. I want this much salary. I want X. I want Y and Z. But now, even like during pregnancy, I realized I am no more in control. I mean, I don't control my body. If all the morning sickness and all of that. So I feel like now I became more of a flexible person. I am no more, like, at least in this phase of my life, I'm not that ambitious and go-getter, at this point. Like, this year's New Year resolution included like one single line, and it said, enjoy motherhood.
So it was a big pivot from this list of measurables achievements to just one item that would be so emotional and about you enjoying your life.
Yeah.
We started our conversation with you talking about your education, your career, explaining what did you do at your job. And can you tell how this motherhood impacted your career?
It's a very timely question, because I went back to work just this week. And here in the US, it's very different from what we're used to. Over there, the other part of the world, you take your time, you raise your child, and then you go back to work. But here, things happen a lot faster. Yeah. And she's not even 6 months, and I'm already back to work. What it means for my career, honestly, I don't know. The only thing I know is that I will for sure not be able to work all those crazy hours. And one thing I decided for myself is that whatever happens, I mean, whatever I feel is right, I'm not gonna fight that feeling. I'm gonna, surrender, maybe that's the word, but just kind of see what feels right. And if I see I'm not gonna judge it as, I'm not gonna look at it as giving up on something. If I see that it impacts my time with Fidan and I want to spend more time with her, I'm gonna quit, and I am not gonna treat it as giving up on my career. Or vice versa, if I see an exciting project and I really want to do it, I'm not gonna treat it as giving up on my child. So whatever feels right, I think I'm gonna.
So what I'm hearing is, after bringing this child to the world, you started trusting yourself more, your feelings and what makes you feel good.
Exactly.
Shams, and what is the most challenging aspect for you at this moment? Like, you already gone through significant period, 9 months of pregnancy, 6 months of motherhood. Like, what is challenging for you now?
I feel like I'm a perfectionist by nature, and there's this side of me that wants to be a perfect mom. I want to make sure, and probably all the moms, right? They want to make sure they provide the best for their children, for their babies. And while doing that, there's also a Shams, right? That she has her own needs. So I feel like the most challenging part for me is balancing between being a human, being a Shams, and being a mom, and understanding that while I'm doing it, while I'm understanding my needs and my baby's needs, that, you know, it's not always going to be perfect.
Shams, is there anything you regret not knowing in advance?
I am the type of person that usually doesn't think back and say, you know, I have all those regrets and I wish I did it I wish I did it differently. Usually if there's something that I didn't like, I take it as a learning experience, or if something worked out, great. With motherhood, I'm trying to treat it the same, but I feel like in the beginning, there was a lot of, again, pressure, like mental and physical pressure. And this wasn't like a pressure that someone put on me. This was more of my internal pressure. It was like, okay, why is it that I'm not happy? You know, I became a mom. What else did you want? Like, you should be happy and you should devote yourself to your child and all that. Because I mean, when I think about it now, how can you be happy when you're like mentally recovering, right? So the postpartum hormones and everything is real. I just kind of underestimated that. And physically as well, I really wanted to bounce back quickly. I wanted to go out and I wanted to meet everyone, but I didn't have strength to do all of that.
Yeah, it's also societal pressure. It's what we are expecting from ourselves. We had give birth to baby, had all that different life starting, but we're never giving ourselves this time, right? To recover, to again, that period of grievance that you were mentioning before, that period when we can just like take the time and get used to this new role, to this new life. And to wrap it up, could you please provide some advice and your recommendations to the people who are in the very beginning of this journey, who just like became mothers, fathers, or who are just like in the planning phase of becoming parent?
Yeah, sure. So a lot of people are like, anyone and everyone you see is going to try to give you some kind of advice,
yes.
some kind of recommendation. So my advice is take with a grain of salt whatever the information, like whatever people are telling you. And look, what worked for one person may not necessarily work for others. So, and there's a lot of information out there as well. So even like when you do your research, you're gonna see some people, like even like sleep training, right? There are so many different ways of doing it. So just, you know, do your research and see what works best for you. Because one way or another, like you're gonna take care of the baby, but is it gonna feel right for you? So do whatever feels right for you. And I cannot emphasize this enough, but ask for help.
Shams, thank you so very much for coming today to sharing your personal experiences with motherhood. And like for me, it was very interesting, and I hope that for everyone that would be interesting and also helpful. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, Gullara. Thank you for amazing questions, and I had fun.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.